This week, we're gonna be installing the new Jackery transfer switch and the 5,000 plus, along with some solar panels, not in our vehicles, but actually in our house. This transfer switch is gonna allow us to be able to plug in our Jackeries, the new 5,000 plus, into our house in case we lose power as a backup source, as a generator.
Millions of Floridians without power, and though the storm is long gone, much of the state is still in the dark and anxious to know when their power will be restored.
4.7 million people are without power.
Natural disasters are inevitable here in Florida, so backup power is necessary.
And the purpose of this is Jackery has it so if we lose power, I can roll this in, plug it into the transfer switch, get power to our house. If I want to go camping in a vehicle that doesn't have a power system, I can roll this out, go camping, plug it in at the shop. There's a lot of perks of it, but let's go ahead and get this thing installed. So this is the beefiest Jackery that they have currently on the market. And it has all these ports, all this stuff up front, like a typical Jackery would have. But on the side, this is where you have all the inputs and everything for the system. You can plug the solar panels in that they gave us. And overall, it's nice. It has a handle and it rolls. So let's get this piece out. That's a big boy. So before we dive into the transfer switch, actually, these are the all new solar panels for the 5,000. And these are 500 watts each. So we've got 1,000 watts of power. It's a whole accordion style setup that you can put out in your yard. You can even mount them if you want to, and that'll keep this big boy powered. Dun, 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 dun. Now we have the transfer switch. So first thing right here, we have the power cord that'll plug in from the 5,000 into the side of the transfer switch. We got some mounting hardware, and here we go. So one of my favorite things about all the Jackery products is how aesthetically pleasing they look. I mean, these things look cool to mount in your house or to put in your vehicle or to use all the time. And they do a good job all around. They are the best on the market. And I'm proud to be able to put this in my house. So my plan is to put the transfer switch right about there, which means I have to move a few things. The Teton's one of the most magical places ever. All right, it's mounted. So the Jackery is gonna sit under here, but before it gets its chance to do that, we're gonna go ahead and use it to clean up the mess. So we've got it mounted now, and the next part is gonna be running the lines over to the actual electrical panel. Now I'm only gonna run 2 of the lines over from the main panel for us to be able to use in case we lose power here. So that is gonna be different from everybody and depending on their household. But for mine, it's gonna be like the living room area, the kitchen, which is on one circuit. Those are our 2 components that are important to us. So I don't have a lot to run, so I'm able to run it through this 1-inch conduit. And then I only have to run about 12 feet over. So I've got 25 feet of line. But those are the next steps, so let's get started. I have everything ran, the white, the black, and then here's the ground, and this is going to the breaker that is on the master panel, and that will be actually wired into right here, this 100 amp breaker on the Jackery. So that's the first thing we're gonna do, and then these are the 2 leads that I'll be running on line 1, L1, which is the black one, and that's these 2 front top spots. So these are where the 2 breakers are gonna go for the refrigerator and the master living room. So I love that Jackery made this available to put as a 240 setup, although I'm not using the 240 setup, but it is nice that this transfer switch has it as an option. We're gonna go ahead and test this whole system. I've got the 5,000 set up now, and you can see the AC line in there is blinking, which means that it does have power coming from this. So let's go inside and cut the power and see what happens. All right, so I'm gonna cut the master panel right here. The one that is marked orange is just the power that's going out there. So when I kill this, it's actually gonna act as if the power has been lost in the whole house. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip this. Let's see. So right here, you can see in the kitchen, we lost power, but just give it a second. Jackery's gonna kick on. Boom, boom. There we go. We got power back. Let's go see, just to show you that it's not coming from the grid. Now, we see the grid light is not blinking blue anymore, which means we lost the grid and we are using the AC1 power, which is the 5,000. And so we can even check down here. Let's see, power. And right here, you can see we've got the output 140 watts being pulled right now, 19.4 hours, 19.5. It's kind of just figuring out where that sweet spot is. And we don't have any input coming in. Now, if we had the solar panel set up and we ran those outside, we would be seeing an input too. But right now, we're pulling about 270. And that's because on this circuit, like we said, I have the refrigerator, we've got the internet, we've kind of got this whole living space in here running off of that. So as you can see, we got the refrigerator going still. We've got this little ice maker, everything in here, and then everything in this room is what we have on in case of a backup emergency. So let's go ahead and cut this back on. All right, cut the power back on. Boom. Now this part's pretty seamless because it's going to transfer back over. We're not gonna see any of the lights go off on this. Let's go back out here and see where we're at. So now we have AC1 blinking because it's not being used, and the blue is back up, which means the grid is back up and running. And of course, the output is now back to 0. How amazing is this system? Right there, I mean, that is a seamless, I'm not even gonna cut this up. That is amazing, showing just how powerful and how useful this Jackery system is. And that is it for our essential home backup power solution from Jackery. It was so easy to install this transfer switch, and the 5,000 just rolls up, plugs in. Just having this as a backup is a game changer because over 200 people a year actually die from gas generators being inside of households and not ventilated areas. And with the Jackery, this is something that people can add to their households already existing and can leave it inside. You can use this Jackery for so much more instead of a regular generator that sits out in your yard and can't be used for anything else. This, if I want to go camping, if I want to go work on another project out in the backyard where I might not have power, you know what? I unplug it from this and I roll it on out there, and check that out. I have 4 outlets on the front. I can use it for 30 amp power. There's an endless amount of possibilities, and I'm gonna be showing you guys in a future videos on other ways that we can use this and maybe put it inside of a camper van, inside of an RV. So that way, if I want to move from my house, not being used, I'm gonna go camping for a weekend, maybe I can just roll it up in the van, plug it in, and go be a weekend warrior. So go check out this backup system. They also have a whole entire home backup system where you get doubled up on some of the battery banks. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. See you soon.